Maybe we can look inside and swallow all our selfish pride. Accept me for who I am. I can be you, you can be me. We can live together in harmony. Accept me for who I am. I can be you. Accept me for who I am. Accept me for who I can't be you, you can't be me. We can live together in harmony. Accept me for who I am. Ever since I met you, you've been trying to change me. Well, I'm doing it your way. This is all I have to say. Just be for who I am. I can't be you, you can't be me. We can live together in harmony. Just accept me for who I am. Accept me, accept me, accept me, only me. Accept me, accept me, accept me, only me. Accept me for who I am. I can't be you, you can't be me. We can live together in harmony. Accept me for who I am. The choice is really up to you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, come on in. Come on in. Make sure you guys share this video. Share it. Let your friends know. We are back for part 2 of the Trans Sister Radio Show, Trans Attraction Show. We have the same exact cast, and we've actually added a new member to the cast. And so it's going to be a great conversation. If you were here before, for the last one we had, it was an awesome one. We're bringing it back. It was the most watched episode that we've had so far. I just want to say hi to all of you guys watching on Facebook. If you're watching on Facebook Live, in the comments there, you will see that there is a link to the actual YouTube. So you can come on over to YouTube and say hi, join the conversation. That way you can get a full grasp. Hey, everybody on Facebook, come on over to YouTube if you like, or you can watch here. It's up to you totally. So excited. We're on episode 10. Can you guys believe it? It's episode 10. 10. We've done 10 of these things. Seems like just yesterday my husband came stumbling out of the bathroom with a shower idea. That's how the show got started. And so here we are, 10th episode, and it's because of you guys. And I thank you so much for those of you guys who watch every week. I appreciate you. I appreciate you sharing and letting people know that we are here. We're going to be here for a while. I know you guys may have seen we have the season finale coming up on December the 9th. We're going to be welcoming Buck and Angel. If you don't know who Buck Angel is, go ahead and Google him. He's an amazing activist. He's an activist for medical marijuana usage as well as sex worker, particularly pornography. He's been doing pornography and productions for a very long time. He's an awesome man. So if you don't know who Buck Angel is, you definitely want to tune in on December 9th. That's going to be our season finale. We're going to have all kinds of prizes and gifts and games and all types of awesome stuff. But we will be back with the Transistor Radio Show in January 6th, I believe it is. January 6th, I think that's that Sunday. We will be back January 6th with a new, fresh show. So we're not going anywhere. We're just taking a season finale break for the holidays. And I have some other things that are coming up that are really big and important. So I just need to make sure I get all of my ducks in a row. But for now, we're here. We are so here, and I'm so glad to have all of you here. Just want to let you guys know what we got going on. So Of course, as you know, next week is Sanford Pride. It is their second year. It's technically their third year, but they are making this, considering this the second year because the first year was kind of like testing the waters out to see if it would work out. So this is their second anniversary in Sanford. So if you're in the local area, Sanford Pride starts this Saturday at noon. It goes all the way to 10 o'clock, all types of venues. Everyone in the downtown area gets together, and all of the venues in the downtown area get together to make it a great time. I will be there with the Transistor Radio Show for the first time ever, live on location. We're going to be keeping you guys updated on everything that is going on at the event. So that's going to be really, really awesome. We'll have little spot interviews throughout the day. We're going to have a couple of special co-hosts that are going to be on the streets taking interviews. It's going to be a really awesome time. So make sure you guys tune in all day next Saturday. And you guys on Facebook, I haven't left you guys out. You guys will be able to watch live stream as well next week live on Facebook. So it's going to be a great time. I'm super excited. Oh, and I meant to tell you guys, so on that show, that episode, as you guys know, some of you may not know, I was cast in a professional production of The Wiz. If you guys don't know what The Wiz is, The Wiz Live, I'm sorry. If you guys don't know what The Wiz is, it's the show from the 80s that featured Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow, Nipsey Russell, Stephanie Mills. Fabulous, fabulous show. And I am so honored to be amongst the cast that we have here locally. Lavarius Slaughter, if you don't know who he is, make sure you Google him. He's an amazing playwright, producer, and director, and he has put together a production that you guys don't want to miss. I was at rehearsals tonight, and I was amazed. I cannot wait for you guys. I can't wait for you guys to get it together. I mean, to get a chance to see it. So, but I wanted to tell you guys next week on next week's show when we're live at the Sanford Pride, we will be giving away 2 tickets. We are buying you 2 tickets to The Wiz. This pair of tickets will belong to a viewer of the show next Sunday. So if you're not able to make it out to Sanford Pride, you will be able to watch this show and win a set of tickets to see the professional production of The Wiz on December 8th, right here in Apopka, Florida, at the Wekiva Performing Arts Center. It is definitely, it's a $30 value. So this is a $60 value I'm holding in my hand. And you could win this next week. So, but you have to tune in. So if you're not at Sanford Pride, make sure that you're tuning in all day long. We will be there. And I'll give you more details later on this week. Keep an eye out for the commercial about the contest. Want to say hi again to all of our friends over at Facebook. Hello, Facebook friends. You guys, if you want, right there in the link, I have put a link to the YouTube channel where we are now. You can come on over and join the conversation. I see a bunch of you guys are here, and this is going to be a great show. I'm super excited. Make sure you guys share this video as well. Share it, share it, share it. Let's get some people in here. We're talking about trans attraction, guys, and we are not leaving anything off of the table. So everything is laid out. Like I said, if you guys watched the last episode, then you know that we are very candid and blunt about the situation. And I have assembled an amazing panel of people so that we can get a full broad spectrum of everyone's opinions. We've got Justina, who is a lesbian. She identifies as a lesbian, and she's married to a trans guy. She's going to be on tonight. We have Crystal and her husband, who are Jeremy, who are going to be on tonight. They're a married couple. Crystal is a post-operative transgender woman, and her husband is an amazing guy, and you guys will get to meet them in just a couple of moments as well. We've got Kirk Da Vinci, if he's able to make it. I know that we spoke earlier and he wasn't feeling good. He may have eaten something bad or something. So we're hoping that he can come on, but he was representing the gay male who is attracted to trans men. And then we've got Talia Cassadine, and you guys may know her from her initiative, Say No to Silicone. She's going to be here, always opinionated, always blunt, and I love to have her. We added a new member to the cast last week or last time we did this. He kind of jumped on and brought such great things to the table. So Aiden is back with us today. And we are adding a brand new viewer today. I mean, a brand new person today. And I'm super excited to have him. His name is Khai. Khai is going to be here with us, and he's also going to bring his opinion. My husband's back there. So he's here with us, and he's going to be co-hosting with me throughout the show. So it's going to be a great show. I'm super excited. I hope you guys are excited too. Let me check in with you guys and see what you're saying. Who's here? Check in if you're here. Hey, Quentin. Mwah. Hey, Boo Bear. Quentin is also in the Wiz, guys. It's going to be an awesome show, I'm telling you. Quentin is a very talented young man. Hey, Shanna, you made it! My best friend Shanna is watching live. She normally watches it on Monday as she's getting ready for work, but she was able to make it today. So, mwah! Hi. Hey, Britton. What's going on? Nikki. Hey, Michaela. Michaela has faithfully been on the show every day. You know I got to promote the show, Quentin. You already know, boo. Check in, guys, if you haven't said hi already. For those of you guys who may be watching the show for the first time, we like to communicate with you as well. So make sure that you are commenting in the comment section. I am checking that throughout the episode. If you have any questions for any of the panelists or you want to ask some things, go ahead and check in. And leave your messages, leave your comments. Remember, the golden rule here on the show, though, is that we will always respect everyone's everything. So, opinions. Hi, Skylar. How are you? Everybody say hi to Skylar J. Public Relations. She's a public relations agent with her own public relations agency. If you guys are looking for somebody to help you get your business or your idea off the ground, she is definitely the person. So check her out. Hey, Crystal, what's going on, baby? Crystal is here. Her and her husband will be on the show in just a moment, guys. I'm going to be sending you guys an invite in just a second. Just wanted to tell everybody that's here hello. Once again, for you guys over in Facebook land who are watching through Facebook, if you would like to get the full, hey, Gemini, if you're still watching on Facebook, I just saw your message. Hello. If you guys would like to get the full version of what's about to happen with the panel and everything, you can pop on over to the link that's in the comments on Facebook. Otherwise, you can watch it here, either way you'd like. But let me see if I can get our guest on, guys. Let's see if we're ready. While I'm doing that, I wanted to see if anybody else noticed that we haven't heard anything else about Botham Jean in a long time. Botham Jean. And he was the one, for those of you guys who may not remember, he was the gentleman who was murdered by the cop in his own bedroom, in his own apartment. She supposedly mistook his apartment for her apartment. Hey, all of my panelists, I just sent the invite, so keep an eye out for that. Our panelists should be coming in slowly, guys. So, but yeah. So we haven't heard anything. I don't know about you guys, but I haven't heard anything else about. Hi. I haven't heard anything else about both of them. I don't know if you guys have or not, but I would love to know what's going on with that situation. So, I just noticed that it's gotten quiet, and that is not what we need for that situation, is for it to be quiet. We need people to definitely speak up for that. I've got a couple of my panelists here already. Hi, hello, guys. Just waiting on a couple of more people. Hello. You guys can hang out for just a minute. We're going to wait on a couple more people. There's Crystal and Jeremy. Thank you. Hi, guys. We're waiting on Justina Talia, and possibly Kirk. Like I said, I'm not sure if Kirk is actually going to be on. Let's go over and see what everybody is saying. You're welcome. No problem, Skylar. It's true. Hey, Justina, we're waiting on you in the chat, girl. We're waiting on you on the show. You're in the chat. Oh, Skylar, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot to hear that. I love to hear people say that they enjoy the show and that they're getting stuff. The reason why, to be honest with you guys, that I continue this show sometimes because I am really, really busy lately. And I kind of overwhelm myself with all these projects and all of these wonderful things that are happening. And I'm Cece, you made it, mommy. I am. It's a joint, CC. It's not a blunt. I ran out of blunts and I ain't had time to go get one. But all of these amazing things are happening and I'm super excited about them. I'm really, truly being blessed in a lot of things. And so it would be easy to just say, well, let's set this show aside. But this show is actually doing exactly what I set out for it to do. And that would be for it to educate people. And I get messages in my inbox all the time of people saying how much they enjoy the show and how they're learning things. And I love that. And so I'm going to definitely continue with the show. Still just waiting on Justina. Justina, if you're watching, I still don't have you in yet, baby. I don't think. And there's Talia. My sister here. Talia's here. So we're waiting on Justina, but while we do, for those of you who may not have been watching, we've got a few people on right now that may not have been watching the last episode. So I'm just going to go through again. And I want you guys to just kind of introduce yourselves again and let us know who you are. And Aiden, we'll get started with you. Thank you so much for being put on the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself and who you are. Who are you?
Okay. So my name is Aiden. I am 23, located in Ohio, and I am a trans man.
Awesome. Thank you so very much. And your preferred pronouns are he and his?
He or his or they or them.
Thank you very much for that. Talia, welcome back, mama. I'm going to try not to keep you tonight because last time we went on and on and on, and I know you're a traveling woman.
Yeah, I have to be in North Carolina early morning. So, but my name's Talia Cassadine, out of Atlanta, Georgia. I'm the founder of Say No to Silicone Injections. I know I look really comfortable. Y'all just overlook that. I just got
That's good. That's good.
Chicken.
That's good. I'm glad you're comfortable. Are we going to get to meet Divine tonight?
More than likely, because she'll jump on the.
Yay! You know, like Divine has her own life. Like you need to create her own Instagram and her own Facebook because I be into her like she is like an influencer.
Divine does have an Instagram. Y'all, my puppy on the Divine Husky. Yes.
Yes, I didn't know that, but I will definitely be adding her. And we have a new gentleman joining us tonight. I think I met Khai once before, but I definitely met Khai a couple weeks ago at Ocala Pride. And we were discussing the show, and he was like, oh my gosh, that is something I would love to do. And I love eagerness, and I love people who are eager to help educate. So I brought him on. Absolutely. So we want to welcome him. Hey, Khai.
What's up?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Thank you. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm 23. I'm from Miami, but I live in Ocala right now. I don't know. What else you guys want to know?
You are swaggy, Khai. You are so swaggy, I swear.
Not even.
So, Khai, you are a trans man, correct?
Right.
And your preferred pronouns are he and him?
Him, yeah.
Okay, awesome. and Crystal and Jeremy. Hi, y'all.
Hey, how are you?
Welcome back. Welcome back. I'm so glad to have y'all. Like, you guys make my heart smile. You have no idea. Y'all really make my heart smile. But I'm so glad. Jeremy, I'm so excited to hear what you have to say. I got to tell you a story. So, my ex-boyfriend and I are great friends. We're really good friends still. And he watches all of the shows later on the week when he has the day off. And so he watched this show the last time and he called me and he's like, that Jeremy dude, that's my nigga. He was like, I need to have a conversation with him. And I think that's what this is about. You know what I mean? That's what this is for. He understood that there was someone else out there who understood him. So I'm so grateful that you're here, Jeremy. I'm not exactly sure where Justina is. Hey, babe, can you call Justina and let her know we're on? And we're ready. But thank you guys so much. So for those of you guys who are tuning in for the first time or just tuning in, we are discussing trans attraction. We had a conversation before that went on for a while. Oh, Justina messaged me. Hold on. We had a conversation that went on before for a while. It was a great conversation, and we had a good time with it. There was just so much that was not said. There were so many questions that were not answered, so we decided to do a part 2. Not only that, but my inbox for 2 days straight had everybody talking about, y'all gonna finish this conversation? They love you guys, and I love you guys, so we're gonna definitely finish this conversation today. So let's see. I'm just checking the comments, and it does not look like there is anyone saying anything new at the moment. So let's jump right in, you guys. You guys are ready? Yeah? Awesome. Okay. So now I don't remember exactly where we left off before. Do any of you guys remember the last thing we talked about before? No? That's fine. That's fine. What's up, baby?
You send an email, right?
I sent it in an invite. I sent her an invite like I did.
Can you send her an email?
Well, that's what it goes in the email.
Right.
Tell her I'll put the link in the Facebook chat. So anyways, I don't remember where we left off at either, but that's okay. We'll just go. So I want to talk about something that kind of was on my mind when we ended the last time. And that is, we didn't really talk a lot about sex. And I know it's such a taboo thing to some people, but I believe that it's very important to talk about those type of things because, again, those are often, sex is often a subject that is misconstrued, or the ideas that people have are not exactly what they are. So, or what it is. So, so first question that I want to ask is, do you think that as a trans person, you should have a definitive role sexually in the bedroom? What I mean by that is, do you think as a trans person, you should, a trans woman should just be a bottom? A trans man should just be a top? And then I want you guys to elaborate a little bit on your answers as well. And I definitely want to start off with Crystal and Jeremy on this one.
Well, in my opinion, I don't feel that the physical activities during two adults having sex is really determined whether that person is trans or not. Mm-hmm. It's mostly just what that person is into.
Right.
That's a whole discussion in itself. Like, I mean, for me, it was like, it would have me question certain things if you looked at me in other ways than I looked at myself.
Right.
Like, for me, I had affirmation surgery because I did it. You know, for me, it just wasn't, it wasn't good. It wasn't given what it needed to be given. So right. That is, you know, so a lot of times if someone approached me in that manner, it would be like, so what are we, like, no offense, but you know.
Right.
And so that's usually what it was for me. Like, biased statements.
Absolutely. Jeremy, you have anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, no up, no bottom, no back, no forth. Just it's sex is sex. You what you want to do. You have a conversation. You be an adult. You keep it simple, and you two move forward. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Talia, let's go to you next on this one.
I'm sorry, girl. These lemon pepper wings is good.
No problem, girl. You gotta be hungry over here.
Okay. So y'all know I'm not. Well, some of you know, I'm not a very binary person, and I'm the type of person where I will lose interest extremely quick. And I see that some of my past relationships probably didn't work out too well because I got bored extremely fast. And with that being said, I don't give a damn if the person I'm with is a top, bottom, oral, just like got a PhD in hand movements. I don't give a damn. Let's just change the shit up, because when things get boring, then I'm starting to get the wandering eye.
Right.
Then I'm starting to itch to get on Jack, get on Grindr, get on BGC, get on Facebook and be up in somebody's inbox. So the more you do, the more likely I'm going to stay with you. So that's how I see it.
Right. That's why I love you. Let's go to you next, Aiden.
So I personally don't believe that people should have a designated sexual position. Me personally, I'm a bottom. So, but that's just something that is my preference. I can definitely be a top. I have been a top and I'm comfortable with that. But for me, if it pleases me and I'm good and consent is involved, it does not matter who's sticking, licking, flicking, sucking what. It don't matter to me as long as you are saying this is okay with me. Even though I am like, and a lot of people that know me know that I'm like an unapologetic queer bottom. But if I have a partner and they're like, yo, do this, I'm gonna be like, you sure? And if they like, yeah, all right then. As long as it's not shit and piss, I don't really care.
Right. You said as long as it's not shit and piss.
Exactly. As long as you're not asking for me to poop on you, we good. The moment you ask for that, we not good. You gotta go.
We're done.
You gotta go.
Lord. Khai, next, same question for you.
I definitely agree with everybody else. Like, I don't think there's a right or wrong way to do it. Like a specific, you know what I'm saying? Like oh, you have to be a top or you have to be a bottom. You know what I mean? It's whatever you like. You know what I'm saying? But me personally, I'm definitely top. I'm down to try like new things. You know what I mean? But I do have like my limits in a way. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hope I make it sense.
Absolutely. And you actually are about to lead into our next question, but Justina just joined us. And so I'm going to throw her right in. Hey, Justina.
Woo, girl, I'm so sorry. I didn't think I was ever going to get in here. I was like, damn.
Why don't you tell everybody who you are? We have some new viewers and stuff today, so tell everybody who you are.
Hi, I'm Justina. I identify as a lesbian, and I'm married to a trans guy. I'm originally from Missouri, and I've been in Orlando for about 6 years.
And your preferred pronouns are she and her, correct?
Yeah.
Awesome. So the question that we're asking, we're on the first question. The first question I asked was, do you believe that there should be a role that a transgender person is supposed to take in the bedroom?
No. No, I don't think that at all.
Awesome. That's it. You don't think that at all? So Quentin, one of our viewers, Quentin, who is with me in the Wiz, he said, no, just because you're trans, and since gender is fluid anyway, sexual position in the bedroom should be the same. Absolutely, it is dependent upon the individual. He said, and I think
Right.
I think we all are kind of in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Britton said, as long as it's not shit or piss.
Exactly.
That's gotta be a t-shirt.
I think we can all agree with that one. I'm down with that one. So listen, well, not all of us. Even if that's your thing, then that's your thing.
Right.
Right. So what I was gonna say is, okay. So, Khai, you just said something, and I wanted to touch on that. So you were talking about, oh crap, you guys. So
I can tell you what he said. I can tell you what he said if you want me to say it.
Okay, please do.
So what Khai said was, he said personally he's a top because he has limits.
There we go.
Everyone has limits to what they do.
There we go. Thank you so much. Here, take this, Robert. Take that from me, please. Okay, so so let's talk about limits for a moment. So, like, of course, especially with the way all of the things that we're seeing now in the media and publicly about limits and people violating people's limits and all of the Me Too movement and all of these allegations and accusations that are arising. I think that what I have realized is that in the trans community, we've experienced that on massive levels for many, many years. And when I think back at the amount of times I've been out at a gay club and a lesbian or a straight girl out with her gay friends has walked up to me and grabbed my titties or smacked my ass or something along those lines, and how I just have, for a very long time, I've brushed that off as it being nothing. You know, it's no big deal. But do you believe that that is disrespectful? Let's start there. Is that disrespectful, Talia?
It's actually very disrespectful. I think that I don't even really know where it comes from, especially when it comes to cis hetero people. Maybe their vision of our body is like toys to them, and they just gotta juggle them around and play with them. So, I'm to the point now where the next little bush queen walks up to me and start grabbing on my ass. I'm gonna grab his dick. What's up? I mean, you want to fawn on me all damn day long. So what's wrong? And I bet you're not gonna feel that. You're gonna feel some type of way about that shit.
Right.
But at the same time, people have to understand that the rule of thumb is, how would you feel if somebody did it to you?
Right. Absolutely. Crystal, let's go to you guys on that one.
Can you give us the question one more time?
Oh Lord, girl, you testing me now. You're trying to see if I'm awake. So the question was, do you feel that it's disrespectful when you, for example, are out in the club or you meet a cisgendered woman, cis hetero woman who is with her gay friend, and she walks up to you and she's learned your tea, and so the first thing she does is grab your boob or ask some rude off the wall question. Is that disrespectful?
Well, I kind of do this, like, even when I'm on the train, I kind of give very much "don't touch me" type vibes. So, like, if you're touching me, that's like disrespectful, period.
Correct.
Like, yeah, like, I don't care whether you know my tea or not. I don't know why you touching me.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Jeremy, you agree with that?
Hell yeah, I agree with that. As I'm listening to it, it bothers me.
Would say that again?
As I'm listening to, it's bothering me.
Right. The idea of like someone just grabbing on your woman, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I understand.
That's like common sense. I mean, unless you're asking for punishment. You know, that's what you asking for. I mean, what person in their right mind would want to do that? You know?
Right. What'd you say, Ben?
I said asking to get hit.
Yeah, Robert said asking to get hit, basically. Same thing you're saying.
Yeah, you know, that's what it is.
But you know, that's like the equivalent of a white woman coming up and saying, and automatically trying to touch your hair.
Boom.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Totally. Justina, you've been out with me many times when we've experienced that, and I always give you that same look, and you always give me that look. Is that disrespectful?
To me, for you, yes, it's disrespectful for somebody to do that to you. But for me, this is where I come at it from a little bit different because I'm a lesbian. So, like, I've dealt with women grabbing my titties all of my life in a bar. Like, so I don't really look at that as in a way disrespectful. If you're somebody that I'm like talking to or something like that. Now, if you're just some random ass person in a bar that walks up and grabs my titty, we're probably fighting.
Right.
Because that is hella disrespectful. But if it's somebody like you or something like that, I mean, like, how many times have you and I been in a bar where you've reached over and grabbed my boob and it's no big thing? But that's different for me than somebody that I don't even know.
Absolutely. Daniel, I just saw your message. Oh my gosh, I realized Daniel's not here. Daniel, shoot me your email in the chat really, really quick. Sorry about that, Daniel. I was wondering who was missing. Send me your email really quick and I'll get you in, Daniel. Okay, let's go to Aiden. Aiden, same question. What do you think about that? Well, first of all, let me ask you this. As a trans man, have you experienced that? Do people do that once they learn your tea, or if you decide to share your tea? Have you noticed that there's a change or a disrespect that happens?
100%. I've noticed that the biggest thing that I get is people touching my fucking beard. And they're like touching like my face or like they're touching my chest. And they're just like, oh my God, how did this happen? Like, I just got a message on Grindr like 2 days ago. Like, how did you get a beard? Like, the same way you fucking got one. And like, let's take a moment to unpack this. The reason why this happens is because a lot of like the cisgender heterosexual community, not even just heterosexuals, but like butch queens and like sometimes lesbians, like they look at us like this toy Yorkie. Like, ooh, I want one, or like, how did this happen? Or like a fucking magical unicorn that just popped out of the Amazon forest. And like they look at us, which is like great. Please look at me like I'm a unicorn because I fucking am. But like they fucking like come up to us and they're like, oh my God, how did this happen? And it's like, it's extremely disrespectful. Don't invade my space. Like the same thing Talia said. Next time a fucking person comes up to me and touches my body without the consent, I'm grabbing a dick, I'm grabbing a pussy. I don't fucking care. Because at the end of the day, why would you ever sit here and think that it's okay to either check my bulge, check my beard, check my chest? That is dead. Don't do that. That's not okay.
Right. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. And Khai, I'm sure you probably share the same sentiment as everybody else, but what do you have to say about this?
Definitely disrespectful. I haven't been through that before. Like nobody's ever like tried to grab on me like that or like touch me or anything like that. I don't like anybody in my personal space. So if I feel like I'm in a crowded area, I'll move to where I have more room, to like be around and everything like that. But I've never been in a situation where somebody just like touched me or anything. Like I don't even like my friends touching me like that, to be honest. Like, I have my moods where I'm like, okay, yeah, you can pat me on my shoulder or whatever, but I have to be really, really comfortable with you. It's for you to like touch me, you know what I'm saying? And even then, it's like pat me on my arm or like grab my hand or something like that,
Absolutely. There's always that one friend too that just thinks it's okay. Like they're the exception. I'm thinking of someone in my head right now. I'm gonna call you out, Reggie. I'm not gonna say your last name, but Reggie, my friend Reggie, like he loves touching my boobs and my butt, and like, and it's like that's not okay. And so there are some times that I tell him that's not okay. Like we've known each other for 20 years, and it's still not okay. Shanna, one of our viewers, my bestie, says it's disrespectful no matter what gender it is, and that's absolutely correct. Quentin says that goes to people in general. It's people's personal space, and you don't just touch that or you don't go beyond that. That's rude and very disrespectful. Absolutely. And then Shannon say you don't just touch or grab anybody without their permission first. Man or woman, don't grab me. Amen to that. And I know my best friend Shannon. She's real as hell about that shit. Like people at Cracker Barrel, we used to work at Cracker Barrel together, and people would try to hug her, and she'd be like, I don't know you. Like, but that's people, you don't know people's personal space. You don't know what people are okay with and what they're not. Quentin says it also goes to curiosity. Some just don't understand what happened or are just uneducated, I guess. And that's absolutely correct too, Quentin. And that is why I asked the question here, because hopefully the viewers that are here today can share this the next time they're in a club with somebody or the next time they're with someone and someone does that.
A stranger. Don't
Correct.
touch someone you don't know.
Correct.
And it starts. It starts and it ends there. And if someone needs to be pulled over to the side to have a decent conversation with, that's what's gonna happen. Because I'd rather the warning before somebody has to open up a can.
Absolutely. For sure, for sure. Daniel made it, guys. Hi, Daniel.
Hello.
Hey, Daniel. So for those viewers that may be watching right now that weren't here the last time, why don't you tell us a little bit about who you are?
Okay, Daniel Scott from Brooklyn, New York, born and raised. And I'm trans attracted. You know, cisgender, hetero, trans attracted man.
Fantastic. And for people who may not understand that terminology, that means that you are a male who was born a male, who identifies as a male, and you are attracted to transgendered females, correct?
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Fantastic. So we've already started the conversation and we're deep into it. And the last question that we were talking about was the disrespect of people just randomly touching transgendered individuals. And so now they're curious and they go grabbing and hooting and touching. And we're talking about how disrespectful it is and how people may not always think of it that way, because as I think it was Aiden said, that I think people think oftentimes that we're like a chihuahua. We're just a little toy that can be pet, and you know, oh, I'm so curious to see what's underneath this fur, you know, that kind of thing. So you tell me, Daniel, what do you have to say about that? As a trans attracted male, like, because a lot of the experiences, and I'm sorry to interrupt you, but a lot of the experiences that I've had with that type of situation has come from trans attracted men.
Well, I mean, yeah, I personally seen in, like, you know, guys, you know, they feel that, you know, because they are attracted to trans women, they'll feel like, oh, well, let me cop a feel, or she ain't gonna mind, or, you know. But it's like, you know, I mean, would you want somebody touching your sister like that? Would you want somebody touching the mama like that? I mean, would you want somebody touching, you know, your daughter or your nieces like that? I mean, come on. It's like, you know, I mean, I personally don't think, like, in this community, like, guys who are attracted to trans women, I don't think they're very cognizant about, you know, about how they act towards trans women. You know, a lot of them think it's just enough to say, well, you know, I'm attracted to trans women. You know, that's where I'm at. You know what I mean? But no, it's like, it's a little bit more than that.
Right. Right.
It's more than that. You know what I mean? It's not just enough to say, oh, you're attracted, but it's enough to say, well, you know, this is the type of woman that I'm attracted to, and I treat her as a lady.
Right. Right. Like,
because it's one thing. Lady. Because it's one thing to be attracted to a woman; it's another thing to know how to treat a lady.
Amen. Amen. And you know what? I'm going to let you touch on that a little bit more in just a minute, because The next part of that, kind of piggybacking off of what you just said, I want to talk about why, particularly, I'm going to talk about my experience as a trans woman, and I would love to get the input of you gentlemen, but I definitely want to hit the ladies first with this question. So, as a trans woman, I definitely I found, like I'm married now, as everyone knows, but when I was in the dating pool or just being a hoe, when I was just having trade, I definitely found that during a conversation with someone, they can see pictures of you and, you guys are having a great conversation, and then they find out the tea. So this is on an app or this is on whatever, and then they find out your tea, or you disclose, or whatever happens, and somehow they find out. And I've noticed, and I'm sure all of you guys can understand, I've noticed how the whole aura of the relationship has changed, and it becomes all about sex, and it becomes all about basically most of the time what I can do for that person, what that mouth do. Let me hit that kind of thing. Why do we believe that is? I have my own opinion about that, and I will definitely share that, but I definitely want to ask you ladies, why do you think that is? Crystal.
Okay, I had it on mute. I mean, that comes from the music, that comes from the culture, that's from what people, soak up from daily habits and what's accepted in society. Like, they don't even teach consent in sexual ed at schools. So it's like it's condoned to not really care what a woman cares. Or, so I really feel like with porn and the sexualization that people see of women, more so just accepted. Like, a woman's going to be, titties out on TV, on HBO, for just a regular movie. You already know that's going to happen. But let a guy show their ass or something too much, that movie gets protested. Like, so what we project kind of lets them know what's okay. And I think because it makes things more acceptable further down the line. So
absolutely, got to change the narrative for sure. Jeremy, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, but I probably might want to hear that question one more time.
Okay, so I was just saying, as far as when a trans woman, and I'm only speaking from the trans woman perspective, is talking to someone or getting to know someone prior to informing them of her tea, if she chooses to disclose. When she chooses to disclose, a lot of those times it seems that the guy immediately turns from whatever the casual conversation was into an automatic, what can I get from her sexually? What that mouth do? When you gonna let me hit it? That kind of thing. Why do you think that is?
Could be that what they already know, what information, what they learned for themselves, whether or not good or bad. And once that moment happens, that's what you get. You get a mouth full of what that person would be saying, no matter how that may look. If you don't learn anything, if you don't learn anything for yourself, and before you get out there in public, when you put yourself in front of anybody in life, you're gonna look, and people are gonna be embarrassed, as you're saying these things, because there's gonna be people watching. It's more. I want to say more, but
yeah,
it's just
I mean,
That's
I
life,
think they just
you
don't
know.
pacify
You know,
what their true intentions are anymore after they, hear your truth. They just like that's pretty much was their intentions to begin with. They just don't pacify it anymore. They just like take it or leave it. They don't have to put it front no more.
Right. And my next question, I'm gonna say this now so I don't forget, so you guys remember. But the next question I'm gonna ask after I go through a few other people is why do they automatically assume that's a go? Like now that I've told you the tea, like you were holding back for some reason prior to this, but now that I've told you the tea, why do you feel like they feel that's a go? But we'll talk about that in a second. I want to ask Talia. Talia, I know, baby, I can't wait to hear what you got to say on this one.
Okay. There's so many different sides of this. You could easily say that these men just don't have home training. You could easily say that. But then again, I also think about how we enable people to speak to us those ways. There's a lot of girls who have been in survival sex work. They've been in the porn industry. And how do they usually talk to these dates? How do they talk to these clients? They talk to them just like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have these girls who are always in professional survival sex work mode. So a man could be coming up to them and trying to approach them the right way, but they automatically go into slut voice. Oh, what's up, daddy? Yeah, you want to see what this mouth do, daddy? So now that you don't came at this man when he's really trying to wife your stupid ass, now that you done came at him this way, he's going to assume that now I might need to approach the next girl this way. Because now I'm seeing her caliber. So the next girl that I go to that has her same caliber, I'm guessing this is how you talk to them. So it's it really does go. This is a question that can go from a lot of different perspectives. Ultimately, the power relies on us because we have to be able to address the issue from an educational point of view, so that these guys can understand that this is not how you approach everyone.
Right.
If you take the time out to actually get to know someone first, then you can understand which ways that you need to speak to them in the future.
Right.
Exactly.
And that's all that's about.
Yeah, for sure. Like, and I agree 100%. I get these messages in my inbox constantly, and I've learned to, first of all, a lot of times, like you said, it is true ignorance. It's that I talked to so and so yesterday. This was the conversation she and I had. And so I just automatically assumed that because you and so happen to be this, then it's okay to speak to you this way. And I find that sometimes, not always, and I won't even give it a 50%, but sometimes when you educate men on that, then they're like, oh, I did come at you the wrong way. But then again, also, there is the automatic trans women are sex objects thinking, that mentality. And I find that to be the case most of the time. Daniel, I want to ask you actually, hold on one second, Daniel. Justina, I want to ask you your opinion on that.
You asked me?
Yes.
My opinion on that, I think that I agree a lot with what Talia said. And I think that coming from a place like Missouri, like transgender is not a word that you hear. Everything that you hear where I come from is cross-dresser or transvestite. And both of those things have been made to be so taboo that it's a fetish. It's like this not supposed to put your hand in the cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of people come at it from that angle. The moment they know that a person is transgendered, most people, or so many people that don't know anything about what it means to be transgendered, immediately equate trans women with cross dressers. And they know that a cross dresser is a cross dresser for a sexual fantasy. So I think that that plays a big part into it sometimes.
Absolutely, and I want to say that not all cross dressers are in it for a sexual fantasy, but when part of the stigma is that when many people think of cross dressers, they think of
Right.
them in that way. Absolutely.
Right, right. Yeah, I mean, I never lump everybody together and say everybody's one thing, you know, but that's
Yeah.
just kind of a common misconception, I think. Like, people are so uneducated, like those that don't know anything about what it means to actually be transgender. And, you know, like, all that changes once you start meeting people who are trans and once you start living life around people who are trans. Because even I didn't know the difference between cross dresser, transvestite, transgender. I didn't know any of those things when I came down here. You know, transvestite was a commonly used word where I come from.
And
You know
it
what I'm saying? So, I mean, it comes down to a lot to do with education. There's a serious lack of education, and there's a serious lack of guys in this world that give a shit because they don't care to respect you. Once they know this thing about you, oh, well, this is automatically what you should expect to be treated as.
Absolutely. I am so glad that you said that because that is so absolutely my experience. And I think that you probably said that because we did live together for 3 years and you saw.
Right.
So,
Yep. I seen that so much. Yep.
and that is one of the most hurtful things for me is that to me, to so many individuals, I have literally been that, oh, that is what you should be. That's exactly who you should be. I want to go to some of the comments. So Shanna says, I think that those comments are deemed as acceptable because the sex industry has made trans people be seen as a fantasy. I think someone else said that in the panel too, and it's absolutely true. Like when you see transgender people, first of all, until recently, when you saw transgender people on television, it wasn't a transgender person at all. It was either a cisgendered female playing a transgendered role or a cisgendered male playing a trans role, or you got these straight men in dresses and wigs that were playing transgendered individuals. And so that's the image that has been put out there. And then they're always sexualized, or they're always druggies, or they're always prostitutes, or they're always uneducated. And so that begins to be what people believe about who we are. So absolutely true, Shanna. Shanna says, so instead of treating you as a normal person, they treat you as a sex object. Quentin says, very true. We are a learned, taught generation. We only act out how we are taught, or we only act by what we see. Absolutely agree with that as well, Quentin. I want to say, as far as that goes, in this generation that we're in right now, I'm extremely hopeful for the generation that we are in right now, that we have that are growing up right now, the generation that is going to be running our country one day. I know that a lot of older folks and a lot of baby boomers and, you know, a lot of older folks probably don't get that or see that the same way that I do. But I believe that as far as progression, particularly for the LGBTQ community, and since this is a Trans Sister Radio show, particularly for the trans community, I believe that that's a very good thing. And I told this story a while ago, but when my husband and I met, my husband is in this out. My husband is, as you guys know, he's 22. So he's young. He's in that generation. He's a millennial. And so when we first met, one thing that I was extremely attracted to him about was his, there were no bars to be held. Like, he wasn't ever ashamed. He was never ashamed to be out with me. He was never ashamed to go out with me. He was never ashamed of what people would say. I remember we worked together, and I remember he told me a story about a black girl who came to him at work and was like, "Is that your boyfriend?" And he was like, "Boyfriend?" Like, and it didn't bother him. It wasn't something that he hid from, and she did it in front of, the whole floor of people. And he wasn't. So I say that to say that I believe that a lot of that comes from, like Quentin was just saying, what we're taught. And I think that a lot of people are being taught today. I'll tell you guys also, just a couple weeks ago, I was on the way to a conference and I was taking the city bus, and there was a little girl maybe about 8, 9, 12 at the oldest on the bus. And she was with her dad. And her dad said, she looked at me and she looked at her dad. She looked at me and she smiled. She looked at her dad and she said, "Hey, look, Daddy, it's a real life transgender woman." And like, she had the biggest, brightest, most beautiful eyes. And I was waiting for her dad to say something slick and funny. And y'all that know me know I was like on my edge of my seat ready. But he said, "Yeah, that's pretty awesome, huh?" And like, they looked at each other and she just smiled and they smiled, and I got off the bus and they both waved. And my mind was blown by that, because I'm an old girl. I'll be 38 years old in 2 weeks or 2 months. And I remember, and I've been transitioning or living as Tiara since I was 16 years old. So that's a lot of time. And I remember 16 years ago that would have never happened. So I definitely think that, like you said, Quentin, we are a learned generation, learned, taught generation. And I think that a lot more people are teaching and educating their children about transgender matters. And I think the reason why they're able to do that is, as Justina and Aiden had said earlier, it's about education. So Aiden, I want to get to you and ask you, on this subject, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Just real quick, remind me of a little bit of what the question was. I've had a bunch of stuff go through my head recently in the last like 5 minutes, so I'm kind of lost. So give me like.
No worries. We were just talking about. Oh shit.
Yeah, I remember. You asked basically like, how do we feel about people automatically sexualizing trans people, right?
There you go.
Okay, so it's such a loaded question, because half of it is like, why the fuck would you sexualize anyone off top? And to answer that, sex sells. And in this society, you can turn on a TV show and immediately and see two people kissing. Either two guys or two girls or whatever, you can see two people kissing. And people are humans in general are automatically inquisitive about sex. The other part of that is that I've even caught myself in situations sexualizing myself in scenarios where I either was talking to the tray or I was talking to the fish or something like that, and I was sitting here sexualizing myself because I was assumptive of the questions they would ask me about my body. So I immediately was like, "Listen, this is the tea. This is what it is. Fuck with it. Don't fuck with it. I don't care." And I didn't even really give someone the opportunity to get to know my character before I spilled the tea on what I do sexually. And then the third part about that is trans people are often and always either silenced or marginalized or over-sexualized. It's a part of our identity to an extent, which is extremely fucked up. But it's something that we've been dealing with for so long because they look at us, like I said earlier, as I want to try, I want a piece. I just really want to do this. And I think it's extremely inappropriate and very disrespectful. And unfortunately, it's a part of our reality at this moment. That's why I said it's extremely loaded.
Absolutely, absolutely. Daniel, I want to ask you, and then Khai, I'm coming to you next. But Daniel. Same question. We're talking about sexualizing or transgender individuals solely because they're transgendered. Still kind of on that subject. As a trans attracted man, first of all, let me ask you, like, are you willing enough to be as candid with us and let us know? Have you ever found yourself in a situation where you were sexualizing a transgendered woman that you liked or wanted to get with? And was it something that just came natural to you? Were you fully aware that that was happening? Chime in.
Um, well, that's a very good question. When I first, explored this community and started becoming a part of this community, um, there was a couple of girls that I used to inbox them, and I was talking to them, and you know automatically it just kind of veered there towards sex. I you know because you know I just guess as a man, I mean, you see a pretty girl, you know what I mean, and it's like it just automatically just comes natural. But I really just had to kind of just check myself on that.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to kind of just check myself because, like, what I mean, I really just came to the point where I said, well, if the roles were reversed, but I want somebody doing that to me.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like, and I just to piggyback off what Talia said, you know what I mean? A lot of girls, they do sex work, and and when a guy like tries to come and talk to them, not even on a sexual manner, but just try to, hey, let me get to know you, it automatically veers towards, oh, well, he's trying, well, let me see what I can get out of him before he try to get something out of me. And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
it just becomes awkward after that. You know what I mean?
And then
So
that's
it's
why
like,
girls like me get those messages where a man will just message you, and the first message he messages you is $100.
yeah, I
$100,
mean,
Crystal.
I mean, well, I have a strict philosophy. I'm not paying for it unless it comes with a relationship.
Cincy, the one thing I want you to remember about the girl that we heard of that was down for a bucket of chicken. You
Oh
remember that?
my God! Yes. Do you want to tell that story?
That's exactly what I think about when it comes to that. Like, that's the biggest problem. Like, me and Tierra one time was, I don't know, she had posted an ad somewhere.
It was on Craigslist.
Yeah, it was an ad that she had posted on Craigslist talking about she was looking for some dude to come to her room, and all she wanted him to do was bring her a bucket of chicken because I want you to leave more than just a load of cum in my mouth.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
she was totally down to sell her whole ass for an 8-piece chicken. Like,
It
and
was
that's the kind of shit that people be talking about. Like, she was just totally down with that. And
she
if
was
you're down with that, if you're just gonna give it away for free, who the hell is gonna want to pay for it?
You ain't lying. Crystal, what were you trying to say? Hi, I'm coming at you, baby. But Crystal was
he was not eating for. She probably was to that point where she was in a drought and she needed a chicken and a biscuit.
Yeah, I understand. I totally get it.
That's hey. I tell you what. Is it really that she did that's making you feel uncomfortable, or was it that how
He went through with it.
how she settled for the chicken and gum? Which one is it?
For me, it's not so much because, like Crystal was saying, she could have been in a situation where she was hungry and she wanted something, and you use what you got to get what you need or what you want in situations, So that definitely could have been the situation. But for me, I think it was more so just the way she put herself.
Right, yeah.
Like,
Right, because she didn't come at it from that angle, and like nothing about her post said anything. Like nothing about it came off like,
right.
I'll do anything for food. I'm just that desperate. Like this was just like trick or treat, bitch. Bring me chicken. I'll give you pussy. You
It
know what I'm
was
saying?
like that was her ad. Like that was her
Right, like Monday night special, you know what I'm saying? Like once a week, this is what happens, like it was just, she was so blunt about it and so okay
With the
with not being
partnership
for
stuff.
shit.
You
Like
know,
selling yourself for nothing.
well, before we came up with this currency we call paper money, that's pretty much was the exchange, wasn't it? Not?
It's true. It's the oldest book. Amen. Khai, I hadn't really gotten to you yet, and I definitely want to talk to you about that.
Okay. Can you refresh my memory again? What exactly?
We're talking about as a whole, we're talking about disrespectfulness to individuals who identify as trans, particularly when someone finds out that they are trans. But we're talking right now about when someone, like for example, jumps into a transgender person's inbox and they automatically go straight to sex. Why? What makes that happen?
Uh, I mean, I don't know why people do half the shit that they do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, me personally, I'm a very sexual person, so I don't really care if somebody comes at me like that, as long as they're not like disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? I really don't. If you want to talk about sex, we can talk about sex. You know what I mean? And as far as me approaching somebody else, I mean, even if I heard you was a hoe from down the block, I'm not gonna come. I'm not gonna come at you like that. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a respect thing. You know what I'm saying? We can start off as a casual conversation, and if it leads to sex in the end, then that's what it is. You know?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's respectable. That's definitely so respectable. I want to ask you guys too, you guys that are watching, chime in on this. I want to know what you guys have to say as well. Let's see. Who did everybody answer that question, right? Everybody got a chance on that one? Okay, so the next thing that I really kind of want to touch on, just for a couple of moments, is dysphoria, and how that relates to your personal experience, how that relates to your ability to date or your ability um, to have sex or your ability to just, you guys know what I'm saying, right? You get what I'm saying? So Khai, let's start back with you on that one.
Um. So as far as dysphoria goes, I'm not really dysphoric about my bottom half like that. Like, I mean, it's just this is one of those things I really don't think about right now. But definitely, top half, I'm extremely dysphoric about, and it does limit me to do things that I want to do because it's just like everybody's looking at me like, is it noticeable? You know what I'm saying? So I do tend to not put myself out there like I want to because I don't want all the attention. You know what I'm saying? As of right now, um, and as far as dating, I haven't really. I've only been transitioning for like a year and a half now. So, and like most of the majority of the time, I was in a relationship, so I didn't really have to I haven't had to deal with that as far as like dating wise, but I mean, but it's still something that I think about, like, okay, if I was to start dating somebody else or if I was out there dating, like, how would I handle that? Or, would I be uncomfortable? Would I still stick to my, stay to myself or whatever? So, I mean, I'll find out soon, I guess.
Gotcha. Talia, same question for you.
I actually stay away from people when I'm dealing with dysphoria. Um, and until that mood has been shaken, then I will allow that space. But in order to not trigger my dysphoria when meeting somebody, I go through the 1,000 question routine. I want to ask you, how do you feel about this? How do you feel about that? A lot of guys remember me back when my breasts were a 36D. Of course, they're not a 36D anymore after I had a double mastectomy. So I'm still a little, still experience dysphoria from that because I still have these scars. So then I start asking these questions like, "Oh, have you ever seen a girl with a double mastectomy? Does scars bother you?" I ask those little type of questions because if I see a path that's going into a place where it could trigger me, our conversation ends. And I
Hmm.
don't give a fuck if I might have missed out on something.
Hmm.
I find ways to distract myself. That's why I have this damn husky, which keeps my ass busy. That's why I'm getting another husky to keep my ass single. I don't have to, men have to realize that they are expendable. And especially when it comes to Talia Castelline, because at the end of the damn day, my mental health is more important than your lonely ass feelings.
Right.
So I'm good.
Right. Right. Absolutely. Aiden.
Yes. So the only time that I personally experience dysphoria is when I am called out for not being able to impregnate someone.
Oh,
That
Lord.
is the only, and I actually had this experience um earlier this weekend with like a cis woman who kind of was basically just like, yeah, but I want to have babies with my partner one day, and I'm just like, child, all I said was, what the fuck is your name? Like, I didn't ask for nothing. I just said, "Hey, how are you?" And she like, we can't have babies." And I'm like, "Girl, I don't." Okay, but that like triggered the fuck out of me because like the reality of it is that I do not have sperm to impregnate a cisgender woman. And kids is something that I want in my future. Which I just have fur babies now. I'm gonna have two very soon. So it's like I just kind of like, and Talia's shaking her head because like whatever, but like I'm just like Talia. I just keep myself busy with like my fur babies, and just kind of just going about my life. But that's the only time that I experience dysphoria, and it gets in the way of dating when it comes to cis women. With like cis men, I don't really date cis men, but like when it comes to like cis women, I try to kind of just like stay away from it because I know that they don't understand that like I want kids, but no, I don't have sperm to impregnate you. So this is something that I can't do for you. However, there's like IVF and all this other shit. But
Yeah.
they just like, hey, I'm not ready to do that. I'm like, I'll have the baby for you. Like it's fine. And
Right.
they're just like, no, thank you, sir. So
Um,
I'm good with Divine over there.
I see Divine. I was just gonna say, hey, Divine.
Just so y'all know, that actually is my daughter.
Oh, okay. So
That
she was
yes.
stolen.
That is actually my fur baby. Talia will say, Divine will say, and the dog that they're getting tomorrow is also my son. So I
Oh,
keep myself busy as well.
aw. So I want to, Crystal. I'm gonna get to you and Jeremy in a second on this, but I definitely want to ask Justina a question. So, in regards to this, Justina. So, dating Cameron or being married to Cameron. Are you listening? Is you there, girl? You ain't paying me no mind.
I'm sorry, I'm right here. I'm talking. I got a Cisco in my house, and we was talking. He's talking about the show. We talking about the show, and we just talk about everything.
Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco, Cisco.
Tell him I said hi.
Cheers, say
What's going
hi.
on, Mama?
What's up, baby?
I'm doing okay. I'm loving this show.
Thank you, baby. Sissy, the question I was gonna ask you is
Up.
you dating Cameron or you being married to Cameron.
Uh-huh.
How did you guys combat any dysphoria issues that he may have had when it came to your sex life?
Um, when me and Kim first got together, like Cameron's not a very dysphoric person. He's very lucky, I guess, when it comes to that. Like he's super comfortable with his body, and he's going to be 50 years old, so he's had quite a long time to come to terms with what he has and what it does and what's not there and what it can be and all those kinds of things. So Cam doesn't really have any problems with his bottom half. That doesn't bother him at all. He would have top surgery done in a heartbeat if he could, but he wasn't really dysphoric about it. The only time that I ever really experienced Cameron as being truly dysphoric was when there was a turnabout show at New Phoenix. And you guys did the turnabout thing, and Cameron dressed as a girl, and you had to do it as a guy. That, like, fucked with Cameron's head in such a way that I couldn't touch him for like months afterwards. Like I could only touch him where he told me I could touch him. I couldn't touch him anywhere else. I couldn't do anything else. I could literally only do what he allowed me to do. And I had to make sure that I abided by that. And it was weird for me in a way because it wasn't something that I had ever dealt with before. But I mean, it's no different than any other mental thing that a person goes through, you know? And that's just kind of how I had to look at it, was that it was just something that he was going through and he would figure it out on his own. So I just let him do that. But that's really the only experience that I've ever had with him being like truly dysphoric.
Yeah. Crystal, same question for you. Now, I definitely, well, same questions, same question.
Well, I mean, I don't know. Like, I would say that I feel more affirmed now. It's like before it used to get me a lot. Still, don't get me wrong, it doesn't get easier daily. It's just now it's more so like it's more funny. You look crazy. If someone was to try to put, like I was having that, my mother, I was just talking to her this morning, and sometimes she calls herself slipping up sometimes still. So like I was like, well, Ma, I kind of had a self-reflection moment. I was like, girl, like this is funny now. Like up to that point where now it's like you would look stupid if we was in public and you slipped up. Like you would look like the crazy one now. Although you tried so hard to still look like you got it together, you would look stupid. Like you know my husband, like we chill on vacations and stuff. Like my nieces and nephews only know Auntie Crystal. You would look stupid right now.
Right.
Like so like at this point, kind of like, I mean, I'm more that reaffirms me, and seeing him every morning kind of like helps me, reaffirms me. But like dysphoria, like that, yeah. Besides just people's stupidity and ignorance, fearing what they do and what I gotta do to keep myself safe, is more so just the regular degular in the life of, you know. So.
Absolutely. So this question, I want to ask Jeremy and I want to ask Daniel. On the same subject of what we were just talking about. Well, actually, let me ask Daniel because Jeremy, I'm not exactly sure if you would be able to answer.
Respect and in regards to this question, respect and education.
Absolutely.
You know?
Sure. For sure. Daniel, what I wanted to ask was, as a man who is openly trans attracted, and that is what you, and I think you said the last episode, the last time we were together, that you actually only prefer trans women at this point in your life, right? That's what your preference is. You want to marry a trans woman and spend the rest of your life with a trans woman. So let me ask you, have you experienced a woman who's had serious dysphoria, and what were some of the challenges that you had to have a healthy, I guess, or have a active sex life where you both enjoyed that? Does that make sense? Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well, I'm just gonna go by from my previous relationship because that was the relationship I was in the longest. Um, I was kind of fortunate because my ex really wasn't all that. She was an older girl, so she really wasn't all that dysphoric about her body. But it's like sometimes she would have bouts about it, and really it became my job as her man as her boyfriend, as her lover, as her husband, to kind of just reaffirm her femininity. Like it would get to the point that some days she, she wouldn't put on makeup. She wouldn't, she wouldn't like fix herself up. Sometimes she was just like she wasn't feeling her best, and sometimes I would still just wrap my arms around her, give her a kiss and just let her know, look, baby, I love you. Like, for any man in this life, that becomes his job, is to reaffirm, especially when this is the particular lifestyle that you're in. You have to reaffirm your partner's identity. You know what I mean? Because it's like this is a lot of people don't know, and I've often said this plenty of times. Dysphoria is sometimes a silent killer within this community.
That's
Dysphoria
good.
is dysphoria is the silent killer in this community, and a lot of people don't realize. Like a lot of women and a lot of men in this community have taken their lives because of it. It has gotten that serious. And when you're in a relationship with a trans person or person of trans experience, you have to let that person know, look, baby, you're beautiful. You know what I mean? Or if you're a woman that's with a trans man, look, honey, you're handsome, you're wonderful. You know what I mean? You have to kind of keep drilling that home. You know what I mean? Let them know that you're not going anywhere, because that, like I said, once the dysphoria set, and then it becomes like, well, is my partner gonna leave me? You know what I mean? Oh, they're gonna run like everybody else. They're gonna abandon me like everybody else, and you gotta let them know, look, I'm not gonna abandon you. I'm here for it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And for me, that's one of the best things in the world, the best feelings in the world is when, because no matter how much, and I'm speaking for myself, no matter how much I say, I don't need validation from a man, I don't want a man's validation, and those things are true. But I would be a lie to say that it's not a confidence booster. It's not something that does help me with my dysphoria. Like when you're walking down the street and you're getting catcalled, even though that's offensive in a way to some people, personally to me it's not, because to me it's like, hey, you know what? Like, thank you, Or when you're in an environment and somebody's like, you're absolutely gorgeous, like, thank you. Like for me. But you're absolutely right, Daniel, 100% on that.
I would like to add this. I would also see that, like in my ex, when we would go places, you know, I saw that it would give her a big confidence boost. Sometimes when people would say, "Oh, you're absolutely gorgeous," I got a cousin that's just like you. You know what I mean? It would be no problem. You know what I mean? But like people would like, "Oh, you're just absolutely gorgeous." You know what I mean? It's like, because my ex, she was very honest about who she was. Like, I mean, she would tell anybody. You know what I mean? She knows she was a performer. She did shows. You know what I mean? So what I mean, it was just a big confidence boost. Like I said, if a man chooses to be with a trans woman, and this is the life that he chooses, it's imperative that this comes with the territory. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
This
Absolutely.
this type of thing comes with the territory. You know what I mean? Every relationship faces challenges. Every kind of relationship faces challenges. It just so happens that this is the particular challenge that somebody like me has to face. You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
And
Sometimes it got to the point where I mean, she didn't want me really touching her like that, and it's like, baby, you're beautiful. You know what I mean? If I wasn't, if I wasn't here for you, I'd have been out. You know what I mean? But it's like, I was there for it. You know what I mean?
Right. I want to ask Jeremy a question, but I want to say, first of all, Quentin said, one of our viewers, Quentin said that he didn't even know what the word dysphoria means, and he agrees with Jeremy, and he says that this is where the education comes in at. And so, Talia, can you give us, for the viewers who may not know what the word dysphoria means, can you just give us a brief description of what dysphoria is?
Basically, dysphoria is the act of not feeling comfortable with parts or well, not feeling comfortable with what you see in the mirror. We all know that we have a tendency to judge ourselves harder than others will judge us. And when you look in the mirror, you see something that doesn't look in place. If you're a trans man and you feel like the biggest man in the world, but yet you look in the mirror, you see something that isn't the societal norm of men, it could throw you mentally, and that's what we call triggered dysphoria. People have to understand that dysphoria is a huge thing and it's a real thing within the trans community. And I know a lot of people who are not trans tend to think that trans people are being sensitive about certain topics, but yet they don't know and they're not educated about dysphoria enough to understand that what they could be saying could be triggering. We have to realize that dysphoria alone is a major cause in a lot of trans suicides. Um, just trying to come into who you are. I know when it comes to trans men, there's a lot of trans men who have been making GoFundMe's trying to raise money to have top surgery. If people don't, a lot of people don't know that top surgery can cost you anywhere between $5,000 to $9,000. Breast augmentation can cost you anywhere between $2,500 to $5,000, sometimes $6,000. Calling one girl fishy and then you didn't say nothing to the girl that's next to her. That could be triggering to her because now you're just pretty much saying, "Well, damn, I couldn't get the same compliment the other bitch is getting." But is he saying that because my face isn't where it should be at? But guess what? Facial feminization can cost up to $34,000. We have to really understand what we are saying, and it's not about being sensitive to trans people. It's about you stop being insensitive to trans people.
Right.
Also, kind of just to piggyback off of what Talia just said, also certain states now cover gender confirmation surgeries and gender confirming surgeries such as facial feminizations. New York happens to be one of them that you can get like like free gender confirming surgeries under Medicaid. And California is another one, I believe.
Can I add something real quick to what Talia said?
Sure.
We have to. We need to look at this. Not even we, because like we already know the tea, but like people in general outside of this community need to look at it as if you walk up to someone on the street and you say, "Oh shit, you put on a little bit of weight." They're gonna be triggered. Especially if they have an issue with weight. That's just like if I'm with a woman and they say, "Do these pants make me look fat?" And I say, "Yeah, they do." She gonna be like, "What the fuck you just said to me?" She gonna be triggered as hell. It's the same situation. If somebody walks up to me and they say, "Well, you kind of short for a guy," I'm triggered because I know that. Oh, well, you're not. You're a little bit feminine. I'm triggered because it's like literally if you walk up to somebody who has who has skin issues or with colorism and you say, "Well, damn, you black as hell," they're gonna be triggered about it.
Right.
You can't just walk around making comments about other people and not expecting that they're gonna feel some type of way.
Right.
You have no idea what kind of mind frame that person is in that day. I can have a badass day and somebody walk up to me and say, "You know what? You look like a girl today." And I'm gonna be like, I should just go ahead and just off myself at this point because I've already had a bad day. And I said this the last video, and this is the last thing I'm gonna say into the next question. My motto in this whole life of mine is if it does not fuck, feed, or finance me, I do not care.
Amen.
And if it does not affect my community, I do not care. Which my community, to an extent, finances me.
Right.
So I'm not gonna worry about it. Other people need to learn how to mind their fucking business. Damn, is it that hard? That's all I'm gonna say because I just got irritated.
I wanted to add one more thing.
Uh-huh.
And people have to understand that it's because I know somebody else had made a comment that dysphoria can manifest itself in many ways for different trans women, and I think a lot of people think dysphoria has to do more so with facial features, hips, ass, um, all that type of stuff. Whether you have bottom surgery or not. One thing that I had actually dealt with, which is going to sound like the weirdest dysphoria in the world, but it wasn't until recently I actually stopped hurting myself. And I was always taught that, the fish have to be really fishy, they have to be really petite, and one thing that would really trigger me from men is when they ask what shoe size you wear. Bitch, I am 5 foot motherfucking 11. True T, it's actually 6 feet tall, but we gonna take away 1 inch. So I mean, I wear a size 12 shoe, but guess what I was doing for the last 15 years? I was wearing smaller shoes. So men wouldn't keep asking me how big my feet are. Do y'all know my toes were like this?
Yeah.
And I was walking around for years
Me
with
and
my
you
toes
both.
bald. I'm
Me
sitting
and
there
you
trying to cross
both.
the big toe and the toe next to it just to fit that motherfucker in the damn shoe because I didn't want y'all clocking my teeth from my feet alone. That's dysphoria, y'all. It comes in many, many different shades and forms for everybody. We have to learn how to break out of that. And that really comes from being truly 100% unapologetically you.
We're having this conversation. I just kind of got triggered a little bit because I was thinking about a conversation I had once with this guy who I turned him down. Like we were talking and he wanted to come over and hang out and I was like, nah, I'm good. And he said, I fucked with pretty trans girls. Ones that you would never know were trans girls. And that has sat on me for the longest time because it's like, so every time I look in the mirror, I cannot help but say that sometimes it's like, I'll never be that pretty girl that he was talking about. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And it's like, it's one of those things where it's like, this society is so, and even the trans community nowadays, and it's bad. We're so focused on passing and that's whatever society tells us what femininity or masculinity is, and that is not the case. Like I know when I walk out in this world that I pass as a man. I know that. However, for me personally, I don't want to pass. I don't want to be looked at as some regular cisgender heterosexual male. That's why I wear shirts like this. It says queer voices matter. Absolutely. I want people to know, oh, okay, something a little bit different about him. And this trans community is so stuck in the mindset of I need to pass, I need to look fish, I need to look trade, I need to do this. Be yourself. We are fucking gems. Absolutely. There is no reason why we need to stuff ourselves in a box that is not made for us. If it was made for us, we would have never transitioned in the first place.
Absolutely. I am with you 100% on that. I've told this story many times before, but I would have never met my husband had it not been for me being exactly like you. I am a trans person that likes to be visible. I have some of my really, really, really fishy trans girlfriends who are like, oh girl, you be wearing glitter during the daytime and your bright red lipsticks and you be doing the most. And for me, it has never been about passing. I feel like in my case that my calling is to be a outspoken, open, and visible transgender person so that I can fill in those gaps and so that I can help to tear down those barriers and so that people can understand that normal people like myself, whatever normal is, are transgendered people. I say this all the time. I met my husband, and I would have probably never met him had I not been that person. We were in training, and we had an exercise where the trainer asked us all to get up and introduce ourselves and to say something about ourselves. And did I feel like I needed to say that? No. Like and this is just me being real with you guys. Most of the time, I automatically assume that people already know. And I don't really care. Like you said, fuck them. They're not fucking feeding or financing me. So I really don't give a shit whether you know or not. And I'm going to be the first one to tell you. Not everybody is like that, but I'm speaking for Tiara. I'll be the first one to tell you. So I stood up in the class that day, and I remember saying something about, like, I do a lot of activism and advocacy work in the community, and that, I'm a proud trans woman. And that's how the conversation got sparked up with my now husband. So I always say that had I not, made that comment, or had I don't know. And there's something about confidence in being a trans woman that has worked really well for me all of my life. As far as jobs, as far as relationships, the confidence that I've been able to gain as a trans woman and being proud of being a trans woman has taken me into many spaces that I never thought that I would be able to. Crystal, I know that you probably have something that you definitely want to say here, and I definitely want to hear what you have to say.
Mm-hmm.
I want to go to Khai really quick because he's been kind of quiet, and I just want to check in with him and see, do you have something you might want to add to this conversation, Khai?
You guys are pretty much like, I feel like you guys are in my head a little bit. Like everything that like I be feeling, sometimes you guys are like definitely speaking on. I definitely agree with Aiden about, like, if you're not, anybody who knows me knows, like, that's my motto. It's like on my Twitter and everything. If you're not feeding me, fucking me, financing me, or family, and even then, it's still like, you know what I mean? I really don't give a fuck about how you feel, your opinion. You know what I'm saying? If I didn't ask you for your opinion, I really definitely don't want to hear it. But it's just, people just need to like leave people alone and let them do whatever it is that makes them happy. If I'm not hurting myself or hurting anybody else, why do you care? You know what I'm saying? Like, just let me live my life how I want to live it, And same thing with other people. Like, if I see somebody doing something that I've never seen before, I'm not gonna, okay, that's cool. Like, you like what you like, you doing whatever you do, as long as, like I said, you're not hurting nobody or yourself. Like, if it makes you happy, then shit, it makes me happy.
Absolutely. Crystal.
I would just like to, I'm sorry not to cut nobody off. I would just like to say, when Talia said that, by, trigger, certain words triggered, asking a woman her shoe size, I probably, when I ask a woman her shoe size, I genuinely want to know. Like, so, when I buy her a pair of shoes, that's, to me, that's pertinent information. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nah, you sneak your ass in that damn closet. You check that damn shoe. You don't answer that damn question.
So there's a lot of awesome comments going on in the comments, but I want to, Crystal, I want to get to you really quick first. Crystal and Jeremy, I want you guys to both chime in on this
one. Oh, I'm sorry. Can you say it one more time? I just lost my train of thought because, like, if you don't feed all of that stuff, I agree. Oh no,
I'll start off.
I will say this: I was triggered for a moment, and it reminded me of a time, and I've been trying to forget it. But someone just now recently, because we were talking about this generation, came on my Facebook. One of these makeup, I call them, the makeup girls. The girls that, watch a lot of tutorials and they got good complexion and stuff. At least this person, I call it a catfish sound because they only have one picture, but they go around and they tear down advocates and people who's actually trying to do something and productive for trans legislation and rights and stuff. And I'm sitting there like, why do they feel the need to strip down someone's power? Because we harness it or we show it in a different way, rather than just our clothes and our body and our or face, you know. But nonetheless, yeah, I was attacked, and I'd never been attacked before, and that really hurt my feelings out there. And I don't hurt nobody, and like they coming at me saying it's too early for people to be having crazy masks like that on. Y'all need to stop all that. That is terrible. That is rude, and I do not want to have to read you kids. So calm down.
I actually saw that post. I actually saw that post, and I know who she talking about. And I'm thinking to myself, "Yo, Crystal, she's a really cool girl. Like, why the fuck would you come at her? She don't talk about nobody."
2 days to see it. I didn't know it until my sister-in-law came up to me and said, don't worry about it." And that's really what made me care, because I'm like, okay, why is my sister-in-law like telling me, giving me words of affirmation and stuff? I'm like, what's going on here? You're a great person. You do great things. Don't ever stop. Don't let them get you down. I was like, okay, thank you, but
Why are we there?
one picture. Right. If she was that pretty, she would have had more. I know too many pretty girls that has way too many selfies.
Right.
But they the girl in the picture. When you pretty like that and you coming for my looks, you're gonna have more than just one profile picture. That be known.
Yeah,
So
I noticed it.
Too much hate.
Jeremy, do you have anything you want to add to the dysphoria conversation?
With I think we need to be re-educated in a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff we need to be re-educated on. There's a lot of re-educating that's going to come from a lot of people that we're not going to like where it comes from, that we have to accept. And that starts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's a very powerful statement and such a true statement too.
Can I ask a quick question?
It's better to hear it from me than to hear it on the street.
Right.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yeah, sure, Aiden.
So I don't want to like introduce another topic or anything, but this is kind of been eating at me as far as like trans attracted, like this conversation. I think it's extremely important to talk about. So I'm sorry for this. I just gotta know, what is the difference? And I know the difference, but I want everyone else to kind of chime in on this too. What is the difference between a chaser and someone that is actually attracted to someone that is trans? Because listen. Before we answer this question, I want to add a side note. Is it? See, I'm almost not even wanting to mention this.
I'll sum it up right here.
Wait, hold on, Justina, because I know the answer. This is a two-party question. What's the difference? Because I know it. We all know it. What's the difference between a chaser and someone that is truly attracted to someone that is trans? And what is the difference? Like, is a chaser considered someone that would only date a trans person that's pre-op? And then I'm gonna put my phone on mute so we can talk about that, because I feel like that's important when it comes to trans attracted dating. Is a lot of trans attracted dating people are chasers, and they say, "Oh, I'm not gonna date this person if they pre-op, if they post-op." But it's like, I'm sorry.
Absolutely. Listen, I've got to start with Talia on this one, because Talia, your face, baby. And listen, Talia, don't be mad at me. I was gonna try to wrap this up here in a few minutes, but this could get real interesting. So, so Talia, let's start with you.
Damn, Aiden.
Okay, y'all listen. Talia know me, so she know I was going to ask this. Me and Talia have been knowing each other for way too long. She knew I was going to ask this shit because I know the answer. I know a chaser, but I want y'all to
I've been
definitely
saying in
define
his
it.
inbox, no, this entire time. No.
I don't care.
And Talia, really quick before you respond, guys that are watching, I want you guys to chime in. Even if you're not exactly sure what we're talking about, I want you guys to chime in on this as well. But Talia, go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Trans attracted men to me, true trans attracted men, You can't be 100% attracted to somebody if you're not trying to understand that person. You know, if I'm attracted to something, I need to know why, and I need to understand what makes this person tick, what makes this person respond different ways. How do I respect this person so that they could be attracted to me in return? Those are trans attracted men to me. That whole chaser thing. Um, when I think of a chase, that means whatever I'm chasing has to be going away from me.
Mm.
So now, if I'm trying to run away from your ass,
Mm.
that don't mean you hit me up from every damn Facebook profile that you have. That don't mean after I block you on every Facebook profile, you find me on Instagram. That don't mean after I block your ass on Instagram, you come back and find me on BGC. That don't mean you make up a whole complete fake profile with a picture of a man on it and then send me a damn inbox message. That to me is chasing. That to me is chasing. When I see that all of my friends are all of your mutual friends and the same response that you're giving me with the same response you done gave to them multiple times during the same goddamn day.
Absolutely. Celia, I couldn't have said that better myself. That absolutely. Crystal.
That I concur. I don't want to say too much of the same thing because that is pretty much it's an infatuation. It's like it goes past, you know, oh yeah, I liked you, but you turned me down and I'm gonna move on. Like when I'm telling you to read my profile because you said hello and I already knew the way that you said hello wasn't a proper hello because I barely added your friend request 3 minutes ago, and you already sending me emojis with apricots or whatever that is, and I'm like, listen here, don't you understand that I have pictures in my photos, you know, featured photos with yours truly here, like, and it says married, and I always say legally married, pound legally married all day long. So for you to come into my box and say, like, what's going on at 2 a.m., I already know what is given, or for you to just all of a sudden send instant calls or video calls, and you expect me to do a blind open up situation to catch an eye full of something I don't want to see, that's a chaser. Those are the thirst bucket chasers, and they only have one thing on their minds.
Absolutely. Now, Khai, do you want to chime in on this?
I've never experienced a chaser before, so I don't I don't know. You know what I mean? People that I've females that I've dealt with, I've been friends with them for a long time, or I was friends with them, you know, before. So it kind of just like we just continue whatever type of relationship we had. I probably wouldn't even know a chaser until if it slapped me in the face. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, I've never.
Y'all, I
Give
feel
it some
like
time. It's coming after this video.
what about the second part of this question? What if a person only says they're gonna date someone if they're pre-op? Are they a chaser?
I want to answer that. I would say yes.
Yeah, go ahead, Tiara.
I would say yes because
many of them.
If a woman was has had the confirmation surgery or affirmation surgery, then she obviously she has taken that step to just affirm who she is. And and this is probably not trigger warning. But so we've heard the saying, you know, that if a man wanted to be with a woman, he would be with a woman. So I believe that a man who's dating a trans woman who's like, if you lose this part of you, then I don't want to be with you any longer, then that's because you were chasing my dick in the first place. That's what your chase was my penis, my area.
Like external clitoris, whatever they call it. That's what it is.
Exactly.
Let me chime in on this.
Exactly. You let him know exactly that's his deal, and then you leave it just like that.
Absolutely.
Uh,
Absolutely.
Let me chime in on this because I I probably had more experience than this with anybody. But yeah, when I first got into this community, I've been called chaser, all this other stuff, and it's like, man, I'm just looking for a relationship. Like, I'll become a chaser. Like, I don't even know what that means. Like, you know what I mean? But I look at chasing as kind of just being about a guy just looking to get his rocks off.
Mm. Mm-hmm.
To me, that's the chaser.
Mm-hmm.
A guy just looking to get his rocks off. He ain't looking for no relationship. He ain't looking for no commitment.
Mm-hmm.
It's just about getting that nut and he's out. And then he's on to
That's
the
the
next one.
trade. That's the trade. That's the trade. That's not a chaser.
Right.
A chaser is a person that specifically says, I want to date a trans person that is pre-op and that is it.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, the trade comes in at 2 o'clock in the morning, get they nut and leave, and
Right.
don't talk to you in the daytime. That's the trade.
That's the DL dudes.
That's
Sounds
the
like
trade.
Right.
The
Right.
church
sounds
in your hand.
Go ahead, Talia.
Okay. It's not always about getting your rocks off or getting your nuts off also, because a chaser could also be looking for stability.
Mm-hmm.
Some of y'all motherfuckers just try to get up with some of these girls because we have these little professional little selfies on Facebook and we always done us. So they automatically assume that you must be living nicely. You must have some type of income coming in. So therefore, I'm going to come and lay up and eat all your motherfucking food and drive your car. It's not always about the nut. Now, I would not say that a person that's only looking for somebody pre-op is a chaser. I would not say that. I would just say that that person is a man of his own
particular taste.
Exactly. That's like me. I would prefer a trans man over a cis man. Only if the cis man had a little ass penis, because I don't like big dicks. I'm sorry, but my body is a temple, and you're not going to tear down these walls. So therefore,
Hello.
I am. So it's all about the preference. I don't think we can say that because a person has a preference, which we have to understand that the word preference is a personal thing. That we can just label them as as a chaser. But if you are in it for the nut, if you're in it for the stability, if you're in it for the betterment of yourself and not the other person, you're a chaser, baby. You can sit here and say that you're looking for a relationship all damn day long. Well, guess what? Look for a relationship. But in order to look for a relationship, your ass got to be motherfucking focused also. Because if you're not focused on the person that you're trying to be in a relationship with, and you're trying to be in a relationship with two different people at the same goddamn time, guess what? You're a chaser.
Right. Right.
There you
Okay,
go.
you know what? I stand corrected, Talia. You are absolutely correct on that, and thank you for correcting me on that. I knew you was gonna read me for that. I already knew. It's just my personal opinion because I've been with cis women and cis men that sit here and say, "Oh, well, yeah, I love trans men, but I'm not gonna fuck with you no more if you get bottom surgery." And it's like, okay, so what are you really narrowing me down to?
Exactly.
Are you saying to me?
Accurate, because I'm sorry, I will say I feel the same way. No shade. Because at the end of the day, if you were saying that you was attracted to me as the woman, why now that I'm operative, it's now all of a sudden you don't. No, I'm sorry. That what was you attracted to? What woman are you attracted to?
And
that they have to have an external or a physical anatomy that fit. I'm sorry.
And I look
Like,
at it that way too. Like for people that come up to me and they say, "Oh, Aiden, I think you whatever. I want to fuck with you," and I'm like, "Okay, well, just so you know, I'm trans." They're like, oh, "Okay, yeah, cool." And then if I pop up months down the line, I'm like, you know what? For me personally, I want to have bottom surgery, and they're like, "Oh, I ain't cool with that." But you wanted to be with me before I decided to do that. So what are you defining what are you defining me as? Are you looking at me based off the genitals that I have? Or are you looking at me for the man that I am?
Yeah, you feel like you wasted your time.
Right.
For me, it's all about the journey. You know what I mean? If I'm with a woman and she hasn't had, bottom surgery yet, you know what I mean? I'm still in it for, but if she chooses to have that, I'm in it for the journey.
Right.
Because for me, it's all about growing with your partner. And if
Absolutely.
that and oftentimes that comes with the territory. Like I said, certain things come with the territory, and it's like, I'll tell a lot of brothers this: if you want to be in this life, you have to be willing to follow the journey or whatever whatever it is. You gotta say, baby, I'm in it. I'm here for it. You know what I mean?
I'll say this.
Really quick, guys, I want to get in a couple of these comments. So
I agree with all the above. Just settle down. Just settle down. You know, I mean, and then they won't chase anymore. They won't have the urge to chase.
Well, I don't know about that. I don't know about that. Listen, let me tell you this. I so many people just the other day at 3:00 in the morning. My husband doesn't get off of work until 3:00 in the morning. So I normally am up waiting for him. So I'm like on social media. You guys know me. I'm always on social media. So I'm on like Instagram a couple weeks ago. And I get a message in my box, and it was that hello that Crystal was just talking about. We all know that hello. And it was that hello. And the guy was like, yo, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, nothing, laying here in bed with my husband. That's my deterrent. That's my, like, no, right off rip, we're not about to go there. You know what his response was, Jeremy? You know what his response was? He said, oh, well, that's fine. He said, I'm just laying here by myself, but I'd rather be laying there with you and your husband. And I said, excuse me? And he said, well, really, I just want you, but I'll have a threesome if your husband has to be there. What? What?
Like he need to find two people. Him, himself, and himself again.
Dead as serious. And I get those kind of comments all the time. All the time. And like Crystal said, both of my social media accounts on Facebook are nothing but me and my husband. Every other word out of my mouth is my husband. I have a big ass fucking profile thing that says I am a happily married woman who,
married pictures and stuff.
But the first thing they talk about is, oh, you look so good in your pictures. Wait a minute, nigga. So that means you looked through my pictures and still came into my inbox.
But Tiara, let me say this. So you got a lot of girls that's chasers too now. Because I remember when I was in my relationship with my now ex, I remember a bunch of girls used to be hitting me up talking about, hey, what's going on? And I'm like, sister, look, I don't know if you read my profile picture. I don't know if you read my page, but yo, I'm in a relationship.
Somebody said the other day,
they will still inbox me pictures of titties, pictures of ass, pictures of their bottom. I'm like, yo, this chick really OD'd in.
Wow.
I just said I got a woman. What's wrong with you?
Crystal had commented on a post that I had posted the other day, a screenshot of one of those things. Because listen, I'm quick to call them out. I'm not one of those people that are going to call out, like tell nobody's tea, tell nobody's business. I've never been a kiss and tell person. But if you're disrespecting me, and I've told you to leave me the fuck alone, and you still disrespect me, then I'm gonna put your ass on blast. And so I do that often. And Crystal, you remember the one I'm talking about, but I posted a screenshot, and one of my friends said on there something that really just kind of struck a chord with me. She said, some men want what they can't have. And so that becomes more of a drive for them. Crystal, I think you also said something along those lines as well. Like that these men, like they know you're married. They see you're married, and that's even more of a drive for them. And to me, that just pisses me the hell out. And it's more of a reason for me to cuss them the hell out. I'm turning into Talia slowly but surely, I'm telling you. I have turned it into Talia. I'm telling you, baby. But I get it. I understand. Listen, guys, I have so much more that I want to talk about, but Talia does have to be up super early. I have to be to work super early in the morning, and I'm sure you all do.
There's a rally tomorrow in at Barclays Center. If you're available, please come on out. It's a speak out.
Awesome. I was just going to ask, before we wrap it up, I want to go down the line really quick and see if anybody has anything that they want to say. Let me say this too, guys. Because this conversation can go on and on and on and on, obviously, this is part 2, and we're definitely going to have a part 3. And so I think I'm going to open up my season 2 in January with part 3 of this. So are you guys down to continue this conversation in January?
Of course.
Yeah, awesome.
Of course. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic. Like, this is one of those conversations that is so interesting and so full of information. And I think every single one of us, including our viewers, are leaving these conversations a little bit more educated than when we came into it. A little bit more. And then
nobody else noticed, but the last time Tier said anything to me.
Huh?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm saying the last time you said anything to me, I remember was that question about the dysphoria. But then I kind of lost you guys because everybody just started having all random conversations. So I kind of got lost there a little bit. But I'm definitely down to do it again.
Awesome. No problem. I want to say, Shanna said, so would you say that a chaser is someone to fulfill a fetish, as to where an attracted individual is someone who wants a relationship? Aiden.
No, Cardi B got him.
You said to fulfill a fetish?
Correct. She said, so would you say that a chaser is to fulfill a fetish, as to where a trans attracted person is actually someone who wants a relationship?
Yeah. For sure. I mean, like, the thought of a fetish is I want something that I don't have, or I want something that I've never had before, or I want this experience, or I want to try this out. Yeah, you're a chaser. Not that person, but that's a
We
chaser.
also have to understand that a relationship does not mean you're my man and
Right.
you're my girlfriend.
Right.
A relationship it can be just simply a friendship.
Right. Absolutely. Quentin says that a chaser is a fetish, a curiosity. Then a true attraction is what Talia said. If I like you, I'm trying to figure you out, and what makes you tick. And that's absolutely, I think that's kind of the consensus across the board, is that we understand that someone who is truly attracted to a person is not necessarily trans attracted. They're not necessarily attracted to the trans part of that individual, but they are attracted to the individual. And anyone outside of that is more than likely attracted to what that individual has to offer, whether that be on the bottom, on the top, or looks, or whatever the case is. So I think we all kind of share that agreement, right?
Right. And I think I want to just clarify real quick as far as like trans being an umbrella term and all of that. Gender nonconform. I would identify the person that says that they are more attracted to a person who's preoperative versus someone who's had affirmation surgery. I would, yes, it's their preference, but then I would say they're more if I had to put a name on what they were attracted to, I would say more of a gender nonconforming transgender woman.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? If I had to be specific, more specific in a respectful manner, because it is an umbrella term, that would still fall under the spectrum of gender nonconforming because they are deciding not to pursue affirmation surgeries to, fulfill the gender binary systematic ways of looking at sex.
Absolutely.
I feel like if you are the type of person that feels like it's your right to tell someone, oh, well, if you have bottom surgery, I'm going to leave you, then you were with a body part. You weren't in a relationship with a person.
Exactly.
Oh, I agree.
Me as a lesbian, like I've been with females all of my life. So what I'm comfortable with is vagina. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. But never in a million years would I tell my husband, oh, if you go have build a dick, you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna leave you. Because it's not my right to do that. I'm in love with him as a person. I'm not attracted to the trans that's in him. I'm not attracted to the guy that's in him. I'm not attracted to the girl that's in him. I'm attracted to him as an overall individual human being. So for me to say something like that, you're an asshole and you don't even deserve to be in the relationship in the first place.
Absolutely. That
Exactly.
piggyback off of that was like one of the first conversations that Robert and I ever had was, when we started dating, he used to tell people, like I love women. I love cisgendered women, but I'm attracted to Tiara. And like, so whatever you see her as, that's fine, but I'm attracted to her. And so I absolutely think that we kind of all share that same understanding. Like I said, I wanna give everybody a break. Tomorrow's Monday. I want everybody to be able to get some rest, go get your smoke on, your drink on, whatever you need to do and to get to rest tonight. I know I'm about to. You guys have been amazing as usual. We will be back on January 6th for the season 2 premiere. I'll bring you guys back and we're going to continue this conversation because as I'm sitting here ending this, I'm thinking of so many more questions. So there's so much more that we can definitely delve into here. And we will definitely do that. Khai, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. You've been amazing. Do you have anything else that you want to say?
I do. I definitely want to thank you guys for letting me be, included in this. It was definitely, uh, it was really good to see different perspectives about topics that I have with topics of conversation I have with my friends, or things I think about myself, or just stuff that I see on social media. So it was definitely a really good learning experience for me. And I got a text message from a really good friend of mine. I call her my daughter. She's watching right now, and she was
Hi,
like,
daughter.
she was like, uh, it's like the show is amazing. She's like more aware, a little bit more educated. You know what I'm saying? I try to do that with all my friends. Like I'm like, yo, if you have any questions, like just ask. If you think it's offensive or it's gonna offend me, just ask. I'm not gonna get offended because I know you're not trying to be. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
just getting information from you guys, I can relate it to them. You know what I'm saying? And so on and so forth. So definitely thank you guys for that.
Absolutely. Thank you again for joining us. And Daniel, thank you again for being here. Do you have anything else you want to add really quick?
Just that, like I say, for guys that are, in this life, I mean, it's just about like learning your partner and just like by, just accepting them and being on the journey with them. You know what I mean? Because like in this community, it's like, our women, they need us to be there.
Hmm.
They need us to be present, you know what I mean, and be there and to help them through their struggle and help them through their journey, you know what I mean? So that's that's what that's what I'm here for. I know at least with my new girlfriend, that's what I'm here for with her.
Absolutely. Crystal and Jeremy, do you guys have anything you want to say? Thank you guys. Like I said, you guys make my heart smile, and y'all know that. Like, I swear, when Robert and we were actually, I was going to surprise you, Crystal. We were trying to plan a trip up there for the holidays up to New York, and I was going to surprise you and be like, I can't wait to meet you guys. Well, I don't think it's going to happen, and financially right now. But it's going to happen soon because I can't wait to meet you guys. I think you guys would be amazing to hang out with. Do you guys have anything else that you want to say?
Well, I want to say I always love watching your show, even when I'm not on it. Um, I would say continue to do your thing. If you're in New York City and you would like to support a rally that we're doing, a Center for Anti-Violence Education is doing at Barclay Center from 6 to 8. It will be a great experience. We're trying to give New York City the perspective of the LGBT people who are survivors of DV circumstances, domestic violence circumstances, and it's sometimes the reaction and the recall and how people handle those circumstances aren't always equal. So that's what we're speaking up and speaking out about. So if you're free and you're in Brooklyn, please come on down. And we have a Halloween party on Wednesday in Brooklyn also. So come on through.
Where's the?
Oh, 7th Street, 327 Street in Brooklyn.
Okay, but when is it?
Halloween.
Oh, okay.
Wednesday, Halloween the 31st.
Jeremy, do you have anything you want to add?
Be you, be positive, be negative. You heard me. It's always gonna work.
What?
Yeah. And see.
Yeah, they're in the fridge.
Awesome. And Talia, anything you want to add?
No, we good. I'm just ready. I have to be up in 4 hours to get.
I understand absolutely. I tell everybody, and I've said this before, but Talia is my girl crush. Like if I were, I love everything about Talia. I watch her everything. I need to actually join your PPB group the next time you have open enrollment for that. Let me know for sure.
I'll let you know.
I love her. It's beautiful.
Your doggy. Let me know if you have babies. I want one.
Yeah, your doggy is beautiful.
Divine is a star in herself. That she's a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
Aiden, anything else you want to
add? Nah, like Talia said, gotta get to bed.
Gotcha. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much. You guys can end your call at any time. Thank you so much for being here. We will see you guys soon. I'll be in touch. Bye.
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 And to my viewers, thank you guys so much for watching. As usual, it's been an amazing opportunity to have you guys here. You guys are always adding to the conversation, and you guys are the reason that we're here. So thank you so much for being here. Thank you guys so much for watching this show. Like every time I finish this particular show with that panel, I leave feeling so much more rejuvenated. And I'm really excited about part 3. We are going with the part 3, you guys, on this one. So let me know how you guys felt about the show in the comments, on social media, Tierra Latrice or Tierra Latrice Kelly, on Instagram, the.kellys. Let us know how you felt about the show. If you enjoyed it, make sure you share it for someone to watch it later on, because the whole idea is that we want to spread education. For those of you guys that were watching on Facebook, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's been awesome time. Let me say some goodbyes to some folks on there. And while I'm doing that, just remember that next week is Sanford Pride Live. So the Transistor Radio Show will be live from Sanford Pride. Quentin, I wanted to say that I really loved your quote from Debbie Reynolds from the movie Halloween Town. Being normal is vastly overrated. It's absolutely true. Aw, Quentin, thank you so much. I would love to have you as a guest. Let's talk about that real soon. For sure. We're definitely going to get you on. Speaking of Quentin and Kirk and myself, just remember that we are going to be in The Wiz. He's The Wiz. We're going to be in The Wiz on Saturday, December the 8th. There are 2 shows, 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. I'm super excited to bring this production to you guys. I'm super excited for you guys to come and see it. If you haven't gotten your tickets, I do have physical tickets. If you'd like to get tickets, general admission are $30. You can also purchase on www.lavariusslaughter.com/tickets, and you can purchase your tickets there. Tickets are $30 for general admission seating. This is a professional production. This is not a high school kids production. This is not a community theater production. This is a professional production of The Wiz. Professional set, costuming professional singers. We've got gospel sensation Aaron LaBelle is playing our Scarecrow. We've got Stephanie B. We've got Clarity. There are some names in this show, so it's a great show. Also, if you can't make it out, you can purchase tickets to Quentin also has tickets, so if you guys need to get some hand tickets, Quentin has tickets as well. Also, if you can't make it out to the show, you can purchase a ticket for a child that is underprivileged, a child that would probably in a normal setting not get an opportunity to come and see a professional show. You can purchase a discounted ticket for them at the website www.lavariaslaughter.com/tickets. You can purchase their tickets for $20, and each ticket that you purchase goes directly to the center where the underprivileged child will receive their ticket to come and catch our 2:00 show. So that is something that if you're feeling in the giving spirit, go ahead and buy a child a ticket today. If you purchase any kind of ticket online at www.lavariaslaughter.com, make sure that you use either the code capital T KELLEY for a discount. Also, you can use Quentin's. That's Q, capital Smith, SMITH. And you can use our promo code to get a little bit of a discount on your tickets. I hope that you guys will show up and show out for the Black community. This is an all-Black production. As you guys know, The Wiz is an all-Black production. And it's going to be amazing. We were at rehearsals today, and Quentin, I'm sure you can agree that tonight's rehearsal really, really sparked some interest in me, and I cannot wait to see how the rest of this show goes. We added music tonight, and it just completed it. It made things so much better. So really excited. Hope you guys will come out. Again, that's The Wiz, December 8th, Wekiva Performing Arts Center, right here in Apopka, Florida. You guys have been wonderful. We will catch you guys next week where we will be live all day long from Sanford Pride, live on Facebook, live right here on YouTube. You can stay up to date on everything that we have going on. I'll be there super early, keeping you guys in the loop. We're going to have some awesome interviews. We got like Tiffany McCrae and Portia Ross and Tiffany Ross from Ocala. And we've got the mayor of Sanford that's going to be on the show. So it's going to be a really awesome show. We've got the Sanford First couple, Brian and Ashley, will be on the show. I'm co-hosting with my sister, Taylor Monet. You guys may remember her. She was on an episode not too long ago. Of course, Kirk Da Vinci and I are going to be doing at 4:00. We're going to have Gospel with the Gays, so that's going to be going on. There's a lot happening at Sanford Pride this Saturday, November 3rd. So we look forward to seeing you guys. Like I said, I love you guys for watching. Thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful night. Mwah. Have a great week, and don't forget, next Monday, vote. Also, next Sunday, I meant to tell you guys, next Sunday we've got the current reigning Miss Continental 2018, Stasha Sanchez. It's going to be right here on the show, sharing her wonderful story of triumph and how she got to the Continental crown. It was 14 years, I believe, in the making, but she made it, and she never gave up, and I can't wait to hear her story. So be sure to tune in for that as well. So next week, we've got 2 shows. Saturday at Pride, and Sunday, we've got Stasha Sanchez. I'm looking forward to it. Love you guys for watching, as I said. Be blessed, and we will talk soon, guys. All right? Talk to you later. Bye.
Accept me. Don't reject me. Accept me. Don't leave me. Accept me. Don't reject me. Maybe we can look inside and swallow all our self-respect. Accept me for who I am.